What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to another episode of my F1 2016 career mode, episode number 19 today for season 2 at the Mexican Grand Prix, and a surprise third episode of the week. Once again, I'm going to surprise you guys with a third episode in the week. Usually I only do 2 a week, but we're going to bring a third one for you guys, so I'll give you a little treat. If you did miss the last episode, please do go check it out. That was a very, very important episode. I don't want to spoil the results, but go check it out if you have not. It is imperative that you do. I'm going to give you a little bit of a countdown, because then I'm going to actually spoil it and then talk about some things going forward. So I'm going to give you time now, so if you haven't clicked off, it's your own fault. So obviously last episode we won the championship. We also got this upgrade that's fitted, but I don't really care about that, to be honest, because we've won the championship. But we've won the championship, so I asked you guys what we should do for the rest of the series in terms of should we finish it. A lot of you, most of you guys were like, yeah, we should definitely finish the series, so that's what we're going to do. A few of you guys gave me a great idea to actually start at the back of the Grand Prix to kind of make it interesting. Now the thing is, I recorded the Mexican Grand Prix, this race right here that you're going to see today, already before I uploaded USA, so I couldn't start the back for this episode. But for Brazil and Abu Dhabi, I will be starting from the back of the grid, and we'll be doing a bit of a P22 to question mark challenge for the last 2 races of this career mode. But for now, we are going to qualify here in Mexico, unfortunately, but it will still be pretty good. And to be honest, I'm not that great at Mexico, so it's probably a good thing we're going to qualify here today, because I think we'll need it, frankly. But anyway, yeah, we did win the championship, but we still have to do the job in the Constructors. We won the Drivers' Championship, but not the Constructors, so we still have to do the job there and try and do the best we can for both me and Jensen to score enough points to try and outscore that Red Bull and the Mercedes, both of which could potentially try and challenge us. So as we move on to qualifying, you can see, ironically enough, Daniel Ricciardo was given to me as my new rival after I beat him in the World Championship to secure the Drivers' World Championship, so I thought that was a little bit funny. But anyway, we move into the stadium section. Good first sector there. You can see I am on the soft tyres, not the super softs. The super softs are the qualifying tyre, the fastest tyre of choice here in Mexico, but I'm actually going to be qualifying on the soft tyres. Try a bit of a contra strategy, and if I remember correctly, back to season 1, the super softs, well, were frankly disgusting. So we qualified on the soft tyre, and we didn't do too bad of a job. Jensen Button got pole position, so to be honest, we could have maybe gone for pole, but I think this will be working out for us better personally, because I think my tyre wear is going to be quite bad compared to Jensen. So we've got 5th place here on soft tyres. I'm going to call that a pretty big mini victory there for the Mexican Grand Prix. So 1 in 5. So P1 and P5, obviously I'm pretty good at start, so hopefully we'll be able to get up there, and Jensen's on pole position, so we're starting in a pretty good prime position to try and do better in the Constructors and get those crucial points. So let's go to the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. So as per usual, taking a look at the race strategy ahead of the formation lap, we're going for the 2-stop. You can see I'm altering the tyre, basically where it's going to go for our pit stop, just to kind of see the delta time difference. You can see on the right hand side, the delta time was changing a little bit, so I was just curious to see how much we could kind of shift it if I move the first pit stop a little bit earlier onto that second set of soft tyres. But we're going to skip out the super softs. You saw I qualified on the soft tyre, the slower tyre, so we can do this, and we can completely skip out that fastest tyre, which does wear out pretty fast here in Mexico, so I'm hoping this might play into our advantage. And to be honest, for being on the soft tyre, as I said, we did pretty well to be right up here in what is 5th place for qualifying with a kind of slower tyre in theory, but also the conditions might have played into this tyre a little bit. But we got overcast conditions right here for the start of the Mexican Grand Prix. We go to 5 red lights. The Driver Championship may be done, but we still have to do the job in the Constructors. We're underway now. We've got a pretty poor start, actually, compared to Nico Rosberg on the right-hand side. You might expect that, though, because I am on the slower tyre, so the getaway might be initially quite poor. You can see barreling down to turn 1, going 4 wide there with the Ferrari of Vettel darting to the inside. We go around the outside of Jenson Button and Ricciardo, and Vettel spun round. Oh, Vettel's round. Ricciardo spun him round. We've got an inside of Ricciardo, and we're up into first place. We've just made a 6-man overtake into turn 1, round the outside, easy as you want it. And can you believe it? We're leading the Mexican Grand Prix. What absolute action that was, though, into turn 1. Vettel being spun by Ricciardo's rear right tyre. I went right around the outside of Button, who got a little bit bogged down by Ricciardo, who obviously got bogged down by Vettel. And then you had the 2 Mercedes basically parked behind and trapped behind the kind of T-bone section of Vettel's car. So that was an absolutely amazing start for us. You can now see we've moved on to lap 3. Jenson Button and Raikkonen setting fast laps of the Grand Prix just after we set our fastest lap of the Grand Prix. As we go into turn 1, you can see that Button is in 2nd, Ricciardo right up his gearbox, and you can see a Haas car in 4th place doing quite well there. I think of Gutierrez at his home Grand Prix. But through turn 2, we get quite a tight entry. That really did not help our momentum off the exit of the corner. So here comes Jenson now. Brilliant run through that chicane, as well as Ricciardo here. Will he make a move around the outside? I'm going to go defensive on the inside very early. We're going to leave in the room. His front wing's there, so I have to leave the room here. He goes down the inside, so Jenson makes it side by side through this section. Lovely for the fans to see in this amazing stadium section, and Jenson managed to actually get us there, and he's up into first place. So it's obviously that outside corner turned into the inside for the double right-hander, so he's got it into first place. We'll try and come back into him as best we can, but as we move on to the end of lap 4, you can see Jenson's getting away from us a little bit. We've got a bit of a tank slap here on the exit, just not getting the power down as best we want, and now Ricciardo is right up my gearbox on the left-hand side in the mirrors, but you can see, look at that, the Haas car of Grosjean it was, so not Gutierrez, unfortunately, it's Grosjean actually, the Frenchman coming out of nowhere, closing up on us. Obviously, I'm trying to defend from Ricciardo, so Grosjean's closed up to all of us, but he's doing wonders there, and you can see that Haas are clearly ahead of Ferrari. So absolute calamities and embarrassment for the Works Ferrari team at the very end of this season. Just, they've been nowhere. They're pretty much like the 6th fastest team at this point. The lower than the Haas team, which is meant to be the kind of second B team, which is just a crazy thing to think about. But anyway, we move on late to the Grand Prix. We're going to make a move on Jenson Button for first place here. So this is what you want to see, a battle between the 2 McLarens for first place here. We go side by side in the chicane. We get him down the inside, and we're back up into first place. But I don't think it's going to be for too long, because he will have a good run on us. We've got DRS to try and get away from him, but Ricciardo is actually come back at us. So I think either Ricciardo or Jenson will have us eventually, maybe. Or we might just get a little bit lucky, and they might have to go for a pit stop before they try and overtake one of us. But I say that, we move just literally later on to sector 3 of this same lap, lap 6, and Jenson goes down the inside. I go wide a little bit intentionally, to be honest, because I want to let Jenson through. Again, I don't want to fight him too much. I've wrapped up the championship, so I really couldn't care less if Jenson gets ahead of me in this race, but it would be great to try and solidify a 1-2 for McLaren in this race, and I don't think it's going to happen if I hold Jenson up here and push him back into Ricciardo, much like Verstappen was pushing Vettel back into Ricciardo in the real-life Grand Prix. So I let Jenson go there, but the thing is, the slipstream is so OP on this McLaren now, and down this straight with DRS. Look at that. We just like went past him on the left-hand side like we're trying to overtake someone on the motorway very, very easily there, and we're back up into first place, and Jenson is back down to 2nd. You can see that Grosjean now is up into 3rd, so he's overtaken Ricciardo. Not too sure if Ricciardo maybe went to the pits for an early pit stop. I think he might have, because as I look behind me, I can't see the Red Bull anywhere, so I think Ricciardo made an undercut pit stop there. But Grosjean really holding his own there for maybe another surprise podium. He's had 2 of them, I believe, if I remember correctly, in this season so far. So Haas have really become like the 4th best team, I think, around their 5th best team, ahead of Ferrari, as we mentioned. So yeah, crazy to think about. But anyway, we're into the pits for our pit stop, obviously, for a set of soft tyres. So we're going soft for this stint, and then we're going to go to the medium tyres. As I mentioned, not going to go into that super soft that all the AI cars started the race on. But you can see Jenson has gone past right there, so we are going to be behind him, and he's already made his pit stop. And you can see the Ferrari of Vettel and Bottas coming down the pit straight. They're on the soft tyre, interestingly enough, so I think they might have already made a pit stop as well. So not too great at pace after everyone else made their pit stop. We didn't make the most of it being out there for longer on the soft tyre, so we're going to have to do some overtaking. But remember, we'll have fresher tyres now compared to these guys who pit a lot earlier than us. So we go round on the left-hand side of Bottas with DRS. Pretty easy move to a straightforward DRS pass. At Mexico, really down the straight, and we're up into what will be 8th place at the moment. Vettel in 7th. He got a Renault up ahead in 6th place. Can't tell who it is, either Magnussen or Palmer. I'm going to guess it's probably Magnussen. but you never know. Anyway, we're going to close up to Vettel with some DRS in the purple first sector there. So going quite well, as I mentioned, you know, on these fresher tyres, at least 3 laps fresher than all these guys. So we're going to go a lot faster. You can see also just up ahead, there's a Manor car, a Haas car, and then our teammate Jensen Button. So we are looking good as we now close up on the very next sector at the end of sector 2. Vettel makes a move down the inside of Palmer, that is, surprisingly. So Jolyon Palmer doing quite well in this Mexican Grand Prix, but we fake it to the right, go down the inside in this stadium section. The crowd probably go wild as they see an overtake right in front of their eyes, and we're up into 7th place. So we kind of use Vettel as a bit of a help there, because Vettel kind of pushed Jolyon a little bit wide on the left-hand side, so he made that fake move, then down the inside. Pretty nice move. And so we're up into 7th, then we'll continue to chase down Vettel, use that DRS, and you'll see, actually, we're going to close up on Vettel quite a lot here. It is really ridiculous how bad this Ferrari is now in a straight line compared to this McLaren Honda, because look how much we gained on him. So Ferrari, for next season, really need to think about some upgrades for that engine, because they're getting mugged off by a Honda engine, which you didn't think I was going to be saying at the very beginning of this series in Season 1, did you? And so now through that chicane, we've got a great run on the German here. We'll move to the left-hand side of the circuit to make a move down the inside. We've gone very, very late. We've locked up, actually gone a bit too deep there. Keep it on circuit within the white lines. Go down the inside. Vettel leaves us the room here. We bang tyres. Little friendly banging there, but we go on the right, double right-hander down the inside, much like Jensen overtook us. The outside of the corner turned to the inside, so that was actually kind of a blessing in disguise that we went deep a little bit to get that outside line that turned to the inside. And so we're overtaking the Ferrari, and you can see there Vettel behind us, really falling behind both the Williams car and the Renault, as we now go and set our eyes on the Manor car of Pascal Wehrlein down the inside into the stadium section, goes side by side. He puts up a pretty decent fight here, Pascal. We go round the outside, very tight stuff here, but we just managed to squeeze it through, very much like the mirror move we made on Jolyon Palmer down the inside. This time we went around the outside there. I felt we could get the Manor car very easily down the outside due to the amount of downforce difference between the McLaren and the Manor car. But yeah, you can see there in the replay cameras on the panning shot through the S section, Vettel fell back 2 places after I overtook him. So that Ferrari car really is struggling for some pace here, as now we have to worry about Bottas on lap 17 a few laps later, and Bottas goes down on the left hand side with DRS, but we will come right back at him. We're not having any of that. Not an easy overtake for him, no sir. We lock up on the right hand tire, and right front tire I should say, and we're up into 4th place. So far so good, looking pretty good in P3 as well at the moment. Some people have made their pits earlier pit stop as well. So now again Bottas comes back at us once more, and you can guess what's going to happen once again. He moves the left hand side of the circuit, and once again I'm going to go down the inside. Valtteri, will you never learn to try and make a move somewhere else in this Mexican Grand Prix? So we get him back up into 3rd place there. You can see Grosjean, I said it before, I said it again, he's still doing amazing. He's up in 2nd place. He's got a gap to me at the moment. So somehow the Haas car, the Grosjean in the Haas car has got some great pace, more pace than me at the moment, which is a little bit alarming. So we'll see where we filter out here. But I have a suspicion that actually being a bit of a kind of conscious strategy to everyone else, I've kind of lost track of where everyone is. So I actually might be a lot further down than I think I am. I think I'm around P5. Hopefully P4 as we come out in terms of like the net positions after everyone makes their pit stops. But I have a feeling we're a lot lower, because you can see there the Ferrari, I think of Raikkonen, is battling a Red Bull of, I think, Verstappen that must be, or maybe Ricciardo. But we're out in 10th place, so we've got some overtaking. Thankfully, we are ahead of Bottas, so we haven't mucked up in that sense. We're still ahead of Bottas, probably still ahead of Vettel, that means. But we're behind Raikkonen and Verstappen, who we were ahead of at the beginning of the Grand Prix. You can see now as we move on to lap 25, quite a few laps later, and Rosberg comes out the pits ahead of us. So Nico Rosberg was nowhere near us, so that kind of sends alarm bells that maybe we just didn't have the pace today at Mexico. If you think back to Season 1 was a bit of a calamity race for us here at Mexico. I just don't know what it is. On this game, I just hate this circuit. It just has no flow to me. In 2015, it had some sort of flow. I could get into some sort of rhythm against the AI. On this game, I'm just not feeling it. I definitely haven't been as fast as I was in the last game for this track. But we now close up on Kimi Raikkonen, who's been overtaken by Rosberg. So Raikkonen again showing the Ferraris falling back a little bit behind the Mercedes cars. Rosberg gallivants into the distance. We go down the inside of Raikkonen into the second part of the chicane, and we're up into P7 at the moment. And so Rosberg on soft tyre, so I don't think we'll be catching him, to be honest, but we try our best to defend from Raikkonen, who's being now attacked by Valtteri Bottas. We go into the left-hander. You can see Raikkonen in the mirrors going side by side with Bottas. Just about holds it on there, I think. But as we move on to lap 28 now, so not too many laps left to go in this Grand Prix, and now we've got to do some defending from Raikkonen as he's still behind us, so he's actually defending quite well from Bottas there. You can see Verstappen on super softs ahead of us, so a very weird strategy for Verstappen, but he's nowhere to be seen. So really the job is now to defend from Raikkonen, and so that was Verstappen making the pit stop actually, so he's right behind us now on fresh super soft tyres, so he might come back at us, but we're focused on Raikkonen. We go down the inside into turn 1, pretty easy move, and we've got back up into 6th place. But as I mentioned just then, Verstappen's probably going to come and overtake all these guys and maybe pressure me, so we'll see how it goes. But actually, no need to worry, because by the last lap, last corner, Verstappen he's not able to come up to us. It's actually Vettel who starts to pressure us, but we come through for what will be a bit of a lowly 6th place. I thought it could have been a lot better. Considering where he qualified, P5, we've only gone 1 place lower. We've still got some decent points. Jenson Button got a podium. So once again, Jenson kind of has one of those weekends where he completely trounces me in terms of pace. As I mentioned a little bit earlier there, Mexico on this game, I'm just not feeling it. I really honestly don't like this circuit to drive. It's not that interesting to watch in real life, apart from some controversy at the end of the real life Grand Prix, and to drive on the game, personally, not one of my all-time favorites. Let me know what you think of the circuit, if you guys enjoy it or not. I know it definitely differs circuit to circuit. There are a lot of circuits where I've said I enjoy it, and you guys definitely don't, and then there's the flip verse. So let me know all that in the comments below. But anyway, you can see there, Daniel Ricciardo, after losing the championship, not being able to win it anymore, he goes and wins the Grand Prix in the next race. So maybe a little bit of a grudge against me, and wants to kind of show that he still got it, and he still deserved to be there in 2nd place for the championship. But he wins the race. Massa in 2nd there, and Button in 3rd. But you can see the constructors still doing the job. Red Bull move up to 2nd place in constructors now, so we're not fighting Mercedes anymore. We're fighting Red Bull in the constructors. So still got to do the job here, but we could theoretically win the constructors next race, I think. So we'll see how it goes then. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, smash the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been aarava. I'm Josh today, and I'll see you guys next time. Remember, the next race, career mode, we'll be starting from the back, so be sure to tune into that. It should be quite an interesting one to see where we can go from 22nd on the grid. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.